I want to tell you about my friend Farah, and about a house past the old sugar mill outside Nashik, and about a boy named Neil, who none of us thought about for almost 15 years until the night the news broke. Neil used to be part of our group back in college. Ordinary guy, quiet, agreeable, the kind of friend who laughs a beat too late at your jokes, but laughs the hardest. One winter during our second year, his aunt asked him to house sit her bungalow while she traveled. 11 days, alone, out past the sugar mill where the phone signal came and went and the neighbors kept their distance. Nobody thought twice about it. It was just a house. He came back different. Not injured, not obviously changed, just full in a strange way. The way a sponge is full right before it starts dripping. He'd quote entire advertising jingles from memory, word for word, at completely random moments. He memorized whole stretches of a cricket commentary and would recite them if a room went quiet too long, as if silence itself made him uncomfortable enough to fill it with something, anything, so long as it wasn't his own voice. We laughed about it for years. It became a bit. Nobody asked him what actually happened in that house during those 11 days. It never occurred to us that there was a difference between a person being odd and a person being rewritten. 15 years later, Neil walked into an office building in Nashik and did something none of us can bring ourselves to describe in detail here. Something that made the national news for exactly one day before the cycle moved on. What stayed with Farah, what she called me about past midnight in a voice I didn't recognize, was that in the police statement, witnesses said he kept muttering the same 3 words the entire time. Farah wouldn't tell me what they were over the phone. She said she wanted to write it down instead, so there'd be a record in case anything happened to her. I remember thinking that was a strange thing to say. I didn't think about it long enough. Farah started digging the way people do when they need an explanation more than they need to be safe. She found Neil's aunt, still alive, 81, sharp as ever, and asked about the bungalow. The aunt told her she'd sold it years ago, that it had passed through a string of tenants who kept breaking their leases early, and that one family left without even collecting their deposit back. Didn't want it, in her words. When Farah asked why, the aunt went very quiet, said she needed to go feed the dog, and Farah told me afterward there had been no sound of a dog anywhere in the background of that call. She found the family, the Kapadias, gone by 2019. The husband relocated to Pune. He didn't want to talk on the phone at first, but something about the name Nashik and the word Neil made him agree. He told her the house was fine for the first few weeks. Then his daughter started saying there was someone standing in her closet at night. Not doing anything, just standing. They pushed a dresser in front of the door, kept the hallway light burning around the clock, though he admitted he still didn't understand why he'd thought that would help. What finally drove them out wasn't the closet, he said. It was that his daughter started repeating things, arguments she'd overheard, jingles off the television, word for word, days later, in the wrong context, like she was reading from a script she'd found somewhere in the walls. He used one word for it that Farah couldn't shake: playback. He said it felt like the house was using his daughter to play something back at them. I want to tell you Farah stopped there. She didn't. She drove out to the house herself, alone, on a weekday afternoon, called me from the car outside before she went in, said there was a newer car in the driveway, that a couple lived there now according to the neighbor across the street, but nobody was answering the door, and the neighbor thought maybe they'd just gone on holiday. She said the side gate was unlatched. I told her not to go any further. She told me she just wanted to look through a window, and that was the last time I heard her voice sound entirely like her own. What she described to me after that came in pieces, and some of it I'm still not sure I believe. except that I have no better explanation for what happened next. She said there was a hallway light on in the middle of the afternoon, at the end of a corridor, past a door standing slightly open. She said she could hear a television through the wall, playing the same 10 seconds of a cricket match on a loop. She let herself in through the back, which was unlatched, found a school bag by the stairs, not the Kapadia's daughter's, a different uniform, someone still living there, right now, this year. And yet every light in the house was burning. Except, she said, the one at the end of the hall, which was somehow the only light she could actually see clearly. Tell me she thought it said something. Not the television. Underneath the television, in the gaps between the looping commentary, 3 words, repeating, the same 3 words. She was almost sure of it now. The same ones the witnesses in Nashik couldn't stop hearing from Neil. She told me what they were. I'm not going to write them here. She said she was leaving,